Nick Jonas is the new face of Christian music. Now, before you finish typing your comment, stick around and listen to what the rest of the things that I have to say. So Nick Jonas recently went on stage and joined Brandon Lake, Christian, basically mega star, on the final 2 nights of his concert tour. I was there and I totally forgot the name of the tour, but it is what it is. Anyways, Brandon Lake brings out Nick Jonas in Charleston at the Credit One Amphitheater. I happened to be there on the Friday night, which was the literal wettest concert that I've ever been to because it's an outdoor arena and it was raining the whole time. So they come out, they sing The Author, and it honestly was incredible. First off, was not expecting Nick Jonas to walk out there. If anything, everyone's like, oh yeah, he's probably going to bring out Jelly Roll. They had Hard Fought Hallelujah, and that was a thing. Everybody was expecting that to be like the surprise guest, but no. Out walks Nick Jonas. And apparently they had met because a few months ago, or a little bit maybe longer than that, I'm not entirely certain on the timeline, Nick Jonas reached out to Brandon Lake because Brandon Lake was hosting like a songwriting seminar. So Nick Jonas went and attended Brandon Lake's songwriting seminar, and that's actually where they wrote The Author. It was wild because, Nick Jonas, not necessarily being one that is known to have any sort of affiliations with the Christian music scene, all of a sudden is friends with Brandon Lake. And again, the entire crowd was befuddled and just shocked that Nick Jonas was there singing. Also, I will add as a side note, Nick Jonas is one of the best vocalists that I have heard perform live. He does a phenomenal job. Like, honestly, he's one of those people that he sounds basically as good live as he does in the studio. Now, one thing I will admit, they were probably running some sort of version of live auto-tune. Yes, it's a thing. They can do it, and you can fight me in the comments about it. I'm right, you're wrong. This is literally what I do. Take my word on it. They were using probably a Waves plugin. It's very, very doable to do. Now, all of that to say, whether or not there was autotune, there's also would have just been slight corrections either way. I'm not going into an entire diatribe on autotune. That's not what I set out to do in this video. But anyway, Nick Jonas and Brandon Lake, probably 2 of the best vocalists that I've ever heard perform live. I've heard Brandon Lake before, but phenomenal performance. All around, phenomenal performance. Now, the whole he's the headline, he's the new face of Christian music. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. That was 100% hyperbole. It's one of those words, man. Now, obviously, the title's a bit of hyperbole, not quite clickbait. Who am I kidding? It's clickbait. But Nick Jonas released a Christian song, or as he would go on to describe it, a religious adjacent song. Now, he did a podcast interview recently where he was talking about, music and how him and his wife are raising their child, and that, I know it seems like a wide range of topics, but anyways, all of that to say, I understand where he is coming from when he says that he is raising his child with the morals of both his Christian background and his wife's Hindu background. And the only reason why I say that I understand is because his wife is Indian. Like, all of her family still live in India. So, wanting to have a multicultural household, honoring Priyanka's, I hope that's Priyanka, I'm fairly certain that's how you say her name, honoring her heritage as, being from India, and also his heritage of being from America and being from a Christian background with his dad being a pastor. Now, the thing is, you can have a multicultural household, but where I think, and I strongly disagree with what Nick said, he is raising his daughter with both the morals of Hinduism and Christianity.
I've learned a lot about Hinduism as well, which, it's just amazing. And amazing is not a good enough word. I need to find a better word. It's profound and beautiful, and the practice of karma and doing unto others as you would like to have done to you, and good things coming back to you if you're doing good. Dharma is beautiful, and we're raising our daughter to have real, Hindu values and an understanding of that in a meaningful way. And then also, my faith has evolved and changed. And this record, while it's got some musical elements that are sort of religious adjacent, it is not inherently religious, but my faith is very strong, and a important part of who I am, and it's changed a lot from the days we were in the front row as our dad preached from the pulpit.
Now, the reason why I say you cannot do both is because the reason why I can't do that, our God is a jealous God. You cannot serve two gods. You can either serve him wholeheartedly or you cannot serve him. And that, like, he says it in the Bible multiple times. That is the way it is. He is a jealous God. All of that is who he is. So you cannot raise a child with 1 foot in Christianity and 1 foot in Hinduism. It can't happen. You can try, but then at the end of the day, you just end up raising a child who grew up in a New Age household instead of a Christian household. And that to say, and now I know a lot of people are online being like, oh my goodness, he's, this is so great. He's saying that he wants to have a multicultural household and he wants to, instill good morals in his daughter. I think they have a daughter, in his daughter, and this, that, and the other. And see, I understand wanting to raise a morally, objectively good person, but you can do that in Christianity without bringing in Hinduism. And it's interesting to see all of the comparisons that are being drawn between him and JD Vance. Again, politics, that's its own thing, but because JD is in a very similar situation where his wife is Indian and he is a Christian American, so ample amounts of things on that, which I'm not going to delve into because I did not do the research into that side of things. I kind of just came out in recording. It is what it is. But at the very end of the day, the long and short of it, you cannot raise a Christian Hindu child. You can't be a Christian Hindu yourself. You either are a Christian and you wholeheartedly serve God with everything you have, or you are not a Christian and you serve multiple gods, which in the concept of Hinduism, that's actually not that far off base because Hinduism, it's a pantheon religion. So all of that to say, but as he especially calls out, the concept of like, oh, I love the concept of karma and dharma and all that sort of stuff. And again, like, the concept of what goes around comes around, and, putting out good things into the universe and expecting to get good things back, that, like, treating others how you would like to be treated is one thing, but putting out good things into the universe and expecting the universe to reward you for doing that, but it's the expectation of putting out into the, like, vastness of the infinite expanse of the universe and expecting good things to come back to you, that it's like, you are like that close to getting it right. You are that close. It is talking and praying to God, doing what he says and commands, loving those around you, treating them correctly, and then if good things come, they come. Sometimes hard things come, and that is a part of life where it's like, come on, God, I've been doing everything right, and yet things are just kind of going sideways right now. That happens. Life happens. That's because we live in a broken and a fallen world. That's not God. That's not on God. That's just the result of humans, and we're all innately sinful. That's the whole struggle of humanity. But to come full circle, it is a difficult position I can only assume that Nick is in, where he married someone who believes or practices, I'm not entirely certain on where she stands as far as all of that, Hinduism, and wanting to feel like he has to honor her and honor her heritage and raise a child in that mix. And I'm sure it's a difficult situation, even if he did want to raise her 100% Christian. I'm sure that is absolutely difficult situation to be in. But at the end of the day, if they continue to raise her in a split Hindu Christian household, she won't be Christian, she will be Hindu, because again, pantheon and multiple gods and all of that. And I feel for the situation because it is most definitely a complicated, complex situation to be in. But all of that to say, one, Nick Jonas is a phenomenal singer. He does a phenomenal job. The lyrics to the author are really, really good, and they will just hit you left, right, and center. So if you haven't listened to it, I would recommend. It is a good song. I don't know how to wind down this video. Normally I have like a clear ending point of like, and I'm going to wind it down here. So because I don't know how to do that, I'm going to just hit you with, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you absolutely did all enjoy. If there's a topic that you feel like you want to listen to me ramble on about for like 10 or so minutes, feel free to drop it in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll catch y'all next time. God bless.